Pen Made Mightier without wood.
Come on and grab your friends. This week, we're going to talk about some distant lands on Pen Made Mightier. Adventure Time is one of those shows that I feel like you kind of have to love at least a little bit. I've only met a few people who vehemently hate it, and they had no light in their hearts anymore, so they were dead to me. Show was created by Pendleton Ward, a madman who knows how to spot talent from 16 years away. The guy is absolute nonsense, and some of his team has gone on now to, there's Rebecca Sugar, who made Steven Universe, which is so good. And then you got people like Natasha Allegri, who've gone on to do Bee and Puppy Cat, which I really love, but I wish would be I wish it would come out a little bit more regularly. I feel like it's a fantastic show that has a lot of promise that I really want to see it keep going. And of course, we've got Pendleton Ward's other show, Bravest Warriors, which to me is like a slightly older teen version of Adventure Time. If you haven't watched it, head over to Channel Frederator. It's fantastic. It's a really good romp. But Adventure Time is the one that got the ball rolling. And if you haven't seen it, it's about Jake the dog and Finn the human on their never-ending quest for adventure. But it's not just a silly kid show. It works on a lot of levels, and I think the older you get, the more you see in Adventure Time. On the level which most people think children function, it's got a lot of that quick wit and lots of bright colors and lots of fun-loving jokes and things like that. Really great for that sort of target demographic. That's what you're going for. It's great for teenagers as well, though, because it's got a lot of fast-paced storylines, some relationship drama, some good action in there. It's a really solid mix. Plus, there's, just a little bit of that risque humor that the teens love. But it's great for adults, too. It's got some really deep, solid, long-running storylines that explore some issues like feeling abandoned by your father. Wow. It's a lot darker than I expected Adventure Time to go. It's got a lot of hidden backstory that you have to really sit and examine to understand in things like the Mushroom War. The Mushroom War is one of those things that even I, initially when I heard it, thought, it's Adventure Time, some sentient mushrooms or something. And I didn't think about the Mushroom War. Whew! When I thought about it, man, wow. And there's all sorts of evidence to support it. Episodes dedicated entirely to showing how the world used to be before this calamity happened. Remnants of our old world, be it sunken cities or the fact that the Lich's base is inside a old subway terminal, to the fact that nuclear waste is what keeps the Lich's powers going strong, to deactivated atomic bombs. One thing after another shows that this world is built on the remnants of our own, and it's all shown in the background. Something adults are going to catch and that kids are going to have fun with and not think about too hard, meaning, it has as much depth as you want to apply to it. And I think that's really smart. One of my personal favorite storylines in Adventure Time culminates around the Lich. I think the Lich is this fantastically horrifying bad guy, and as we see in Finn the Human and Jake the Dog, it is all about nuclear war and the terrors that it can wrought on the world. It created this terrifying immortal being that feeds off of nuclear waste, who exists only to destroy. Sure, it's sort of a hippie anti-war message, you can definitely go there with it, but it becomes, for the safety of all the realm, for them to encapture this thing and to keep it from running amok. And I think that's something all societies struggle with. The person who does take it in their hands to put this person down is Princess Bubblegum. Princess Bubblegum is initially portrayed as this sweet do-gooder who only wants what's best for her kingdom, but as the show has gone on, we've seen her delve into more and more darkness, so much that she's got a peppermint as her right-hand man who frequently talks to death and knows how to deal in dark magic. Some really creepy-ass dark magic, I'd like to point out. But she herself is not afraid to make hard choices, to lie to people who trust her, and to flat out be a government watchdog with cameras everywhere. She's not afraid to enact espionage on the Fire Kingdom. When she goes to the Fire Kingdom, she destroys their only means of defending themselves. Their golems, their ancestral golems that they had every right to keep, she destroyed because she was afraid of what they might use them for against her. Princess Bubblegum has no problems in keeping the Lich at her beck and call, in keeping her candy golems at their absolute maximum. But at the same time, she will deal with threats as she sees fit. She's every bit as tyrannical as the next person, and she is not afraid to keep the Lich in check with enough dark magic to keep him at bay, sort of as a trump card. I love that about Adventure Time. It shows that even the brightest characters, even the most brilliant of people, even the kindest of souls can house a lot of darkness, especially in the names of keeping the people they love safe. Yeah, I love Adventure Time. This method of storytelling doesn't come without its setbacks. It really covers a diverse range, and you can see it in how they're marketing it too. They are selling toys to kids, but then there's lots of Hot Topic merchandise and things like that. There's novelty costumes for adults. There's mobile apps and video games and everything imaginable. You can get Adventure Time, to even, dangles for purses and cell phone cases. Anything and everything that you could want, Adventure Time probably has a licensed product for it. And in that, you can see that it appeals to boys and girls of all ages, be they young children, preteens, teenagers, college kids especially, and even adults. It's something that everybody can find something to enjoy in, and that's great. But it also means that in serving all of those different groups, there are huge lulls between what you want to see next. Certain kids will become bored with the more serious episodes, and certain adults will become bored with the more silly episodes. And that means it can lose a lot of fans as they wait for the next big thing to happen, be it a lol so random joke, or, the next episode where Marcy talks about the world that used to be. Everybody finds something that they like in Adventure Time, but the question is, do they find enough of that thing that they like to keep watching? For most of my friends I know that started out loving the show, it has not been the case. I'm still watching it, I still love it, but I definitely can see how this genre and this method of creating a show, it's got its limits. But amid this cacophony of success, the thing I liked most personally was the fact that it had this whole hidden history that you had to sort of read into context clues and examine audio bits and look closely at the backgrounds to understand. There's a lot in Adventure Time that's hidden. I mean, sure, maybe not as much as, say, something like Dark Souls, but it's also something you see in games like Five Nights at Freddy's or in Steven Universe, where you can see a lot of little things and catch lots of little moments that can clue you into stuff that's happening on the long term, and I love that. I love that hidden history. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you've got something, even as silly as Adventure Time, if you can write in a hidden history in the back, something you don't have to pour through and read over like a BioWare-esque history in Mass Effect, but just something you could tell simply in the background that can give your players and readers and watchers a little bit more to chew on, I can't think of a franchise that can't benefit from that, and it's not that hard to do. So, in your works and in the works of fiction out there right now, I think there should be more hidden histories, because it definitely added something great to Adventure Time. Go and watch Adventure Time. Go and watch it with your family. Go and watch it with kids. Go and watch it with adults. Go and watch it with that teen down the street, because everybody will find something to love in this show. And I think it's that universal appeal that makes Adventure Time so successful. The question is, will it also be its downfall? Only time can tell. Thanks for sticking with me on Pen Made Mightier. I'll see you next week.